What if I told you the man who defined cool in Hollywood, the face of rebellion, heartbreak, and restless youth, lived only 24 years? That his entire career was over before it even began. And yet, almost 70 years later, the world still whispers his name. James Dean. But how did one young actor, with only 3 films, become a timeless legend? And why did his life end in such a shocking, mysterious way that still sparks debates today? Let's uncover the haunting story of Hollywood's brightest shooting star. James Byron Dean was born on February 8, 1931, in Marion, Indiana. His childhood was far from glamorous. When he was just 9 years old, tragedy struck. His mother, the person closest to him, died of cancer. That loss shattered him, and he was sent to live on a small farm with his aunt and uncle. In those quiet rural fields, Dean discovered something inside him, a burning desire to escape the ordinary. He didn't want a simple life. He wanted more. Acting became his way of coping, his way of expressing the chaos inside. And little did the world know, this small-town boy would soon set Hollywood on fire. When Dean moved to New York City, he struggled. He was broke, rejected, often eating just one meal a day. But he was stubborn. He studied at a prestigious actor's studio under Lee Strasberg, where method acting was reshaping Hollywood. And soon, his intensity caught the eye of filmmakers. His first breakthrough came with East of Eden, 1955. Dean poured his heart into the role of Cal Trask, a troubled young man desperate for his father's love. Audiences had never seen such raw emotion on screen. It wasn't acting. It was bleeding honesty. Then came Rebel Without a Cause, 1955. Suddenly, James Dean wasn't just an actor. He was a voice for a generation. Teenagers across America saw themselves in him, confused, misunderstood, and rebellious against a world that didn't understand them. Dean didn't just play a character. He embodied the restlessness of post-war youth. And finally, Giant, 1956. A Texas epic where Dean transformed himself into an older rancher, showcasing a depth far beyond his years. 3 films. That's all it took. But here's the question. Why did James Dean's impact last when others faded? The answer lies in timing. In the 1950s, America was changing. Families wanted tradition, but the younger generation craved freedom. Rock and roll was emerging. The idea of rebellion was in the air. And then came James Dean, with his messy hair, leather jacket, and distant gaze. He was everything the establishment feared, and everything young people admired. Dean didn't just act, he became a cultural revolution. He represented the loneliness, the anger, the hunger for meaning that millions of young people felt. That's why even with only 3 films, he became immortal. But on September 30th, 1955, everything changed. James Dean loved speed. He was fascinated by racing cars, living life on the edge. That day, he was driving his brand new Porsche 550 Spider, nicknamed Little Bastard. Ironically, he had been warned about the dangers. Even legendary actor Alec Guinness once told him, "If you get in that car, you'll be dead within a week." And he was right. Just a week later, Dean's car collided head-on with another vehicle at an intersection in California. The impact was so violent that Dean was killed instantly. He was only 24 years old. The news spread like wildfire. Fans were devastated. Hollywood was in shock. How could the brightest star burn out so quickly? But here's where the story gets even stranger. The Porsche Dean died and became the center of eerie legends. Parts of the wrecked car were reused, and almost everyone connected to it faced bizarre accidents, injuries, or worse. People began calling it a cursed car. Whether myth or coincidence, the story only added to James Dean's mystique. He wasn't just an actor anymore. He was a symbol, a ghost of rebellion, forever frozen in youth. In 1999, the American Film Institute named him the 18th greatest male movie star of all time, the youngest person ever on that list. His films, preserved in the National Film Registry, are now part of America's cultural history. James Dean once said, "Dream as if you'll live forever. Live as if you'll die today." He didn't live long, but in those short years, he captured what it meant to be young, restless, and unafraid of defiance. Even now, when you see a leather jacket and a brooding stare, you think of him. Maybe that's the real secret. James Dean never grew old. He never faded. He stayed forever young, forever rebellious, forever immortal. So the next time you hear his name, remember, sometimes legends don't need a long life to last forever. If James Dean's story moved you, hit subscribe, because we bring you untold stories of legends who shaped our world, but left us too soon.